Beethoven 5 is a piece that everybody knows. Everybody has an idea about how it should be. Everybody has heard at least a recording or at least a fragment of it. Everybody has if they have heard a recording, most of them will have a favorite tempo of each movement or a favorite performer. It is really difficult to tell something new about it, and it is also really difficult to satisfy everyone with your interpretation. So if me as a conductor, I'm aiming to satisfy each and every audience member, I'm already wrong, because then this is going to be the most mediocre performance ever. Yeah. Yet I think there is also a temptation for a conductor to rediscover things in Beethoven 5, which is also not necessarily the best way to approach it. I think the best way to approach it is to show the audience the surprises that this piece brought to the musical history, the extremes that it brought into the series of compositions that Beethoven or other composers have written. Because there was no symphony that was so revolutionary at that point, which is almost true for Beethoven's own symphonies. I mean, if he talked about the third symphony, it was already revolutionary. But the fifth, I mean, just giving you one aspect, introducing the contrabassoon, which is the lowest instrument in the woodwind group, and the piccolo at the same time, which is the highest, and using them together in the last movement of the symphony, like showing the extremes of the highest sound and the lowest sound, and on top of it introducing the trombones in symphonic music, was already in itself groundbreaking. Or ending the third movement, the scherzo, of a huge crescendo which culminates in the last movement. Is like, you know, people from all over the place running and uniting and then creating something together, which becomes a firework. Or just the very beginning, you know, the most recognizable 4 notes in musical history, like. Yeah. There is nothing more recognizable than that, isn't there? It's in unison. It goes through the whole piece, and there are so many explanations that already gives one a headache thinking about them. That, you know, it was used as representing victory in the Allies after the Second World War. But because victory is also a V, and this is the Fifth Symphony, which is a Roman V, or the Morse code of the letter V is short, long. You know, all these analogies, and that the fact that this was the first musical composition that went into outer space. So there is so much around this composition that is already a little bit too much. So it became sort of a merchandise. Yeah.
Is it worthy of the accolade now, you know, almost over 200 years old, the composition? Do you think it has stood well with time?
I think it is as revolutionary as it used to be at that time. And trying to show how and why it is so groundbreaking, even nowadays, even today. I mean, look, we send satellites into outer space. We are making heart surgeries with drones through wireless communication between 2 continents. Yet we use the bassoon, which is already a 200-year-old instrument, and yet we play music by Beethoven. I think this is truly, it truly deserves to be in a unique place where it is now. So yes, there is hype around it, but there is always, it's not a 10-minute fame or a 3-minute fame. It is a 210 years of fame that we experience with this symphony.